Hey, thanks for joining me. Today we want to take a look at Acumatica's physical inventory capabilities. And with that, we're going to look at some of the ways that you can differentiate and segment your inventory for counting. And then we'll walk through a very short cycle count process and show you how we can use the mobile app to carry that out. So one of the things that you can do with Acumatica is set up ABC codes. I'm sure you're all familiar with those, assigning the priority to your inventory based upon really the value of it. And then Acumatica also has movement classes, and movement classes prepares you to actually look at your inventory based on velocity. So how many inventory turns do items have? And you can use these ABC classes or movement classes when you're setting up your physical inventory selection, as well as inventory cycles. And that's you assign a cycle to a particular item, and that determines how many counts per year you want to have for that item. So with the A-class items or the fast-moving items, you may want to have them monthly, the slow-moving items less frequently. And these all come together in the physical inventory type. And so this is the one that we'll be using today, but I want to go through some of the information. This generation method, when you're setting it up, you can actually set a full physical, so it's going to include everything. Look at the movement class, the ABC code, the cycle, the item class. You can use a different set of these criteria in order to establish what your cycle count is going to include. And you'll notice that you also have the include items with zero book quantity, and we'll see where that fits in later. So you don't have to realize, well, how am I going to count something that has zero on hand? It's going to be there if perchance something's on the shelf, but we can automatically count them when we're finishing up the count. So we can also hide the book quantity on the physical inventory count. So the information presented to the counters has the location and the inventory item, but doesn't include the count. Just want to make sure that we're adding some control to the count process. So in this particular inventory type that I'm going to use for the demonstration, I've simply selected a list of items. I'm using these 3 items, and that's how we're going to count. You can also change them so they can be randomly selected based upon the count type that you're going to be using, if you're going to generate it based on your movement class or ABC codes or such. And you can also use last count on or before, and that's to make sure you're cycling through your items on a regular basis. And then in your assignment order, this is how the tags and the lines on the count are going to be presented. So it's going to go to location first, and then to the inventory ID, and then in our case, lot and serial number if you have those. If you want to, you can append blank lines. This is going to allow you to add items that are not on the count selection. But if they find something that seems out of place, then they can go ahead and add that. So this is particularly useful if you're sorting or counting by bin location, specifying bin locations to use, or if you're doing a full physical inventory. Okay, so we're going to use this type, and the first step is to prepare the inventory. I selected the type here, and now if we look at, this is what we're expecting to count. And so when we generate the physical inventory, now it says that we have these items, and you notice we have one that's in a couple different locations. And so we'll go ahead and pull up the mobile app, and we'll start the count process. So in this, it's asking for the reference number for the physical inventory count, and that's the 6-digit number there. I'm going to go ahead and manually type this in because I don't have my sheet set up to where it has a barcode for the batch. So now it's asking me, okay, what bin am I going to count? And I'm going to scan the barcode for R1S2. And so it accepts that. And now it's asking for the barcode of the item that I'm going to count. So we're going to go ahead and count our Legos. And it says that one has been added, but we want to enter the count. And this is so you have the option of adding one item to the count per scan. Or in this case, we can go ahead and choose the set quantity. And when we count it, we go ahead and enter that. We actually found 240. And so then we'll go on to the next item, and that's the widget 03. And we're going to go ahead and set the quantity for that. And that's going to be 5. And now we're going to go ahead and set the quantity for the widget 04. And with that, we actually found that there's 1,000 in the bin. Right, so now we've gone through, we've found all of our items, and we're going to go ahead and confirm this. And so now everybody in the warehouse is done counting. It's a very simple exercise. So when in the office, you can go back and you can review, and you can see that we have a variance of 1 on the Lego, and the widget 03 is fine there. And we see that we've got differences in the bin counts for the widget 04. And this is where we have found that there's 1,000 instead of split between 2 bins. And once you review this, and this is where you can then look at where are your variances and recount to make sure they're complete. When you're done there, you can go ahead and say you're done, you're finished counting. And then once you're done counting, and the data entry is done as well, now you can go ahead, and this is where you can say set the not entered to 0. So remember the count that we included all the ones with 0 quantity. We didn't count them, so it's going to go ahead and enter them as 0. If we set the not entered to skipped, then it's going to go ahead and ignore the variance there. So let's go ahead and complete the PI. And when we complete the physical inventory, this actually creates the inventory adjustment. And we'll take a look at the adjustment, and you can see we added 1 of the Legos, and then we moved from the R1S3 to the R1S2, the 500 of the widget 04. The physical count is done, the adjustments are made, and so now our inventory is as it should be. So I do appreciate your time today. Join me for more videos as we continue to explore the world of Acumatica.